I'm sitting here today with John Felton, who's the CEO of Southern Chautauqua Federal Credit Union. John, thank you for taking some time to chat. I really want to learn more about the credit union. If you can, give me some background. How did the credit union get started?
Walt, first, thank you for having a conversation today. This credit union, my parents didn't start the credit union, but they got involved very early in the early years. My parents were teachers at Faulkner School, and that's where the credit union started. My dad was member 110, so it was a very small credit union back in the mid-60s. At some point in time, my father decided that my mom, who was going to stop teaching, I have an older brother, and she was pregnant with my younger brother. She was going to stop teaching. She became the new bookkeeper. My mom's famous response was, "I'm a phys ed teacher, not a bookkeeper." But she figured it out. And she really set the basis for this credit union. The basis of this credit union is relationships. It's talking to people. It's getting to know people. And that's exactly what happened at our house. We didn't have a family room. We had a credit union, and it was a very social room.
So when you look at it today, then, is that how the credit union seeks to distinguish itself in the community in terms of relationship building?
You know, it's funny you say the word distinguish, because that's a shame that in today's society we're distinguishing ourselves by having personal relationships.
You're right.
Right?
You're right.
That's the way business is meant to be done.
Yes.
You're supposed to know who you're doing business with. You're supposed to see them and talk to them. You're supposed to have that local resource. And that is exactly what Southern Chautauqua is built on.
And as you say, you know, I think the foundation of success, particularly for anyone that's wants to do financial management and, you know, see their own savings grow and be safe, it comes down to the relationship that they have with their financial institution, with their credit union.
Absolutely. We deal with money every single day. There are so many very intelligent people, very smart people, good people that just don't understand money. Well, what we suggest is you come and talk to us. We're the experts. We can help you. We'll help you buy your car wisely. We'll help you manage your debt wisely. We will help you build a safety net that is key to the success of building a financial future. This is what we're honed in on. We really want to teach the people the joy of saving. We want to teach them the pain of debt, because debt is painful.
That's right.
But we want to make sure they're managing that debt and keeping it to a reasonable amount of money.
And I know that the credit union is also a community development financial institution. You have that designation. Why is it important for the credit union to have that designation?
So a CDFI designation, Community Development Financial Institution, special designation, as you know, from the U.S. Treasury Department. We have maintained that status for several years now because of the work we do in our community. We're big on education. We are founded by teachers. We believe knowledge is power, so we go out of our way to share that knowledge, not only in the classroom, but in presentations like we're doing the past couple of days. We'll go to any church, we'll go to any organization, Boy Scouts, you name it, we'll be there to teach people about financial strategies.
And you know, you have this beautiful training room that we're doing our sessions in, protecting older adults from financial scams and fraud. I mean, it's just so wonderful. Why is it important to you and to the credit union to have a training room like this?
The landscape changes so drastically, so quickly in finances. There's a new app out, seems like every day, you know, get this app for that, get this app for that. What we believe is that in order to keep up with all the changes in the marketplace, we have to focus training on our staff. So we needed a training center so that we can get our staff to be the best trained staff in the county. And then that just kind of bled over to the idea of we're focused on education, so let's open the training center up to everybody in our community. And we rent it out for the first year. This year it's $25 for a nonprofit organization to use the space for all day if they want. Jeez. It's only $50 for a for-profit company to come in here and use it for as long as they want. And we do. Southern Chautauqua Federal Credit Union is a resource to this community, and it's not just a financial resource. We have found that we can be a resource in other ways, providing space for education.
You know, I've been around credit unions now for more than 20 years, and I've often...
Well, I think it's more than 20.
Yes. But, you know, the key thing is the role of the CEO is so important, because I often believe that the CEO sets the stage and the environment at a credit union, which now leads me to focus in more on you. your personal philosophy. What is your philosophy of credit unions, and how do you see that playing out here? How do you use that to hold yourself accountable to make sure that you're achieving the mission for the credit union?
So what is old is what is new. I watched my mom build relationships with individuals. I watched my mom, people would come in and say, Jerry, is it okay if I take $50 out of my savings account? Like it was her money, right? Mm-hmm. But they trusted my mom's advice. And sometimes mom's answer would be, I think you can save that money up. Let's protect your savings, right? So you build trust. And I believe strongly that you build trust with face-to-face. We have all the electronic gadgets and anything and everything you would ever need. But what we offer that a lot of other institutions don't is that face-to-face interaction, 5 branches across this county to make sure that we have a great footprint. We also have 4 branches in high schools run by my people with student interns so that we can reach the younger generation, so we can make sure that kids in high school not only get workforce development, cash handling experience, phone experience, computer experience, but they're also getting a basic financial education.
Exactly, and we all know how important that is, so that they know as they become adults and get into their livelihood, how to manage their money, you know, buying a home or a car or food. It's so important that young folks have that today.
We're fortunate. We're in the classroom a lot with kids, and I jokingly ask people, who wants to grow up to be poor?
Yeah.
We live in the 10th poorest county of all New York State, and we talk about how that happened and why that happened, and is there a way out of that? And there are ways out of that, and I believe Southern Chautauqua is going to play a major role in that. But you're absolutely right. Get these kids to think about money sooner, get them to think about their future, and empower them. When I was in 11th grade, I didn't think I could manage $150 million, but guess what? That's what we're doing. And once you believe in yourself, once you make that commitment to yourself, then the sky's the limit.
You know, you kind of touched upon it when you were giving an indication that the status of the county is, you know, maybe leaning more on the poor side. We also talk about how the credit union is reaching out, and I want to talk, hear you say, you know, some guidance as to how the credit union actually reaches out to folks you mentioned in the schools. What about some other ways?
So what I know is when somebody comes to us for a car loan, they're very excited about their car loan. I struggle sometimes because I think people spend more time picking out the right pair of jeans rather than the right car. So we try to help them with that. We help them do the research on the car. We help them determine what their trade value should be. We help them determine what a reasonable price for the car is. But then we also give other options to them to help protect themselves. So many times in Chautauqua County, people are underinsured and underprotected. So while they're building some assets, one bad car accident, one layoff at work can definitely hurt them. So my people are trained to give these options to anyone that comes into us. Again, talking to people, that relationship. Credit unions were designed for people of modest means. Now, everybody banks at credit unions now, whether you're of modest means or not. And we have everyone bank with us. But the focus of members with modest means is to educate them so that they can make better choices, so that they're protecting their family, so they're raising their standard of living.
And all of this goes into helping to raise the standard of living for the folks in the county.
Yes.
That doesn't come from someplace. That has to be the roots of your parents or your religious beliefs, or what fuels that for you, John, as CEO?
Boy, that's I don't know if we got enough time on this interview to figure that one out. I don't know. I've always been for the underdog. I've always wanted to see those people that maybe don't have the same opportunities as other, maybe that team that has a lot of injuries. I've just always rooted for the underdog, and I love it when the underdog has a victory. And really, that's what this credit is based on. We're trying to help individuals raise their standard of living, build that confidence, and feel the joy of financial freedom.
And I think it goes without saying, too, you know, kudos to you and to your staff and the credit union itself, because I think on a national level, you know, Southern Chautauqua Federal Credit Union is doing very well. And when you compare it to other smaller credit unions across the country, is that true?
Yeah, one thing that we have found out is that when you do good, your organization does well. We know that the more successful that the people that bank with us are, the more successful we will be. That success has now given us the ability to do things like this training center because we have the capital, we have the cash to be able to invest back into Chautauqua County. And that's what we do. Any of the profits that the credit union makes, and a lot of people don't know that credit unions are nonprofit organizations, any of the profit that we make is reinvested in Chautauqua County.
That's right. It goes back into the people, the livelihood, so everyone benefits, and that's what's so important. You look at some of the other organizations, the money that they make, it may be going elsewhere or out of the county. It's not put back into the county.
Absolutely.
So I think, and that talks about the distinction of the credit union and the kind of cooperative values and principles that it espouses. And when, it delights me when I see a CEO in a credit union really believing in those principles and putting them into action, because that's what makes credit unions so valuable.
It really is. Again, credit unions helping members of modest means. That's what we were meant to do. And that's exactly what Southern Chautauqua's done. And as we help those members of modest means and their standard of living goes up, they tell other people about us. And we have just been blessed. We've been recognized as one of the fastest growing credit unions in New York State a few years back. We are always in the top performance. And it's only because we build relationships, which gives us loyal members, which gives us successful members.
With that said, what are your aspirations, the credit union's hopes, plans for the future as we kind of wrap up?
So one of my dreams has always been to be a resource to the employers of Chautauqua County. We're currently working with some HR departments of the larger employers because we know sometimes you lose a good employee because of transportation issues. In Western New York, there's not mass transportation. I believe this credit union can be a resource to an employer to help keep that person employed because we can help them with their financial woes, which is one of the biggest reasons for divorce and for loss of job. We can help them with their financial woes, and we can keep them in basic transportation so they keep their job.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it's all about. I mean, to really make a difference in their lives, to such a degree is the benefit and the value of them being part of the credit union, and also to an employer that is working with the credit union and offering that credit union membership to the employees.
Which, as you know, that's really how it started out. Employers started a credit union to help their employees.
That's right.
So let's make that happen on a countywide basis.
There we go. John, thank you so much for taking the time today.
you.
I really appreciate it.
I would really suggest if you're a person that doesn't like to be hugged, don't get in the credit union business.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing better than taking a family who's struggling and raise their standard of living, and they just give you bear hugs like you just can't imagine.
Oh, one last question.
Yes.
For more information, anyone listening to get more information about the credit union, where can they find that?
665-7000 is our phone number. It's also our webpage, www.6657000.com.
Thank you, John.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend.